Imagine this, you've landed your dream job, but it turns into a nightmare. This episode, I'm going to share with you the one question to ask that exposes the questionable culture before you sign in. That is, being an Excel wizard enough, or do I need to know other languages like Python or SQL? We'll get into that as well in this episode of Q&A with my quality guy. Let's get into it. Question number: in manufacturing, actually work from home, or is remote quality manager a unicorn job? Well, I think it depends upon the industry. If you're in manufacturing, I can't imagine that's going to work well at all. The reason being is you really need to see and feel everything. I've been in this situation and it's not ideal. Let's put it that way. Now, if you're talking about quality manager for a software business, certainly there's no reason why it couldn't be a remote job. But we're talking manufacturing, and to me, that's a no-go. You really need to be on site 100% of the time, because they're people, and people make mistakes. Question number 2. I have my CQE, my Certified Quality Engineer. Is getting the Certified Manager of Quality Organizational Excellence worth the time, or does experience matter more for leadership roles? Well, I would say this. I think having it is beneficial, because going through it, having gone through it, it's helpful to have it. And in a sense that it's not something you have to learn all these things because you're going to apply all of these things. It's a fire hose. I'll tell you what, 160 some questions. It's a lot of time, a lot of effort to learn it and to get used to it. But at the same time, I found it to be helpful to see what questions are there, because you may not run across them all, but at the same time, you've been exposed to them. And I think that's the important part. Question number 3. My supplier keeps ignoring my scars. Supplier corrective action reports. How do I force them to take quality seriously without firing them? Well, I think this is really dependent upon how strong of a procurement department you've got, because if you're working with a procurement manager, you try to leverage them from many ways. One being, hey, there might be reduced business if you can't fix this problem or these problems. Or you go find another vendor, and then you're able to leverage and really say, you know what, we're going to walk away because we've got the equivalent product, and we don't need to put up with your stuff anymore. We've got a vendor who can handle it. So again, using your teammates in procurement wherever you can, leveraging volume to really force them into the fact that they need to fix their problems. Certainly working with them one-on-one, trying to get them moving along, but if they're continuing to be no help, it's time to move on. Question 4. Coding for pros. So the question is, do I need to learn Python or SQL to survive in quality in the next 10 years, even in manufacturing? And I would say yes, because what's coming down the pipeline is a lot of inspection systems. The cost keeps dropping. And by having a skill set that allows you to, and you don't have to know in-depth amounts, because things like Claude Code or Gemini are really helpful in troubleshooting these things. Whereas if you learn the basic code, or you get feedback, you can use Claude Code, you could use Gemini to say, here's what I want to do. It's really, really helpful. And it really makes you a pro in something that 5-10 years ago would have taken an entire set of courses to really become good at it. But because of the fact that Claude Code and Gemini have got it baked into them, it certainly speeds up the time, and you don't have to be the expert. It's helpful to have that, but at the same time, these AI large learning machines just are phenomenal for that. Number 5, interview red flags. So here's the question. I'm interviewing for a quality manager role. What's the one question I should ask to find out if their quality culture is toxic or questionable at best? So it really deserves two questions in return. One, can you tell me about the time when a shipment was missed because of a quality issue? And see if you get an answer that's, oh, we never have them. Well, there's a red flag right there. The other alternative would be, well, our production manager was in panic mode because he or she had to get something fixed and make it right. And so that's an indicator. But the other question is, who does the quality manager role report up to? Now, if you're in the automotive space or anything where you've got some regulatory from the outside coming in, vendors or customers who would come in and do an audit, reporting up to a production or a VP of operations might be a bit of a red flag because many times their bonuses are based upon what they're going to do with getting quality out the door, or shipments out the door, I should say. That's more important than volume out the door. So there's a little bit of a red flag. If the quality manager reports up to, say, the president or the CEO, there's a bit more objectivity going on there, and that's a bit of a safer bet there. So two questions to ask there. Question number 6. The production manager hates me because I stopped the line. How do I repair that relationship without compromising on quality? Well, I think there's certainly, you can go to them and try to make sure that they understand that you're doing this because you care about quality. It's not about them. It's about making sure that what goes out the door is 100% accurate and is to the best of the abilities of the company. And if they can't realize that, well, then the problem is on them. It's not on you. You don't carry that. And so in the sense, in this case, what other people think of you doesn't matter, because what matters is that you've made sure that you've done your job and you've made sure that what is going out the door is 100% quality, meeting quality standards, and it's good product. So number 7, the paperwork trap. I spent 90% of my time, let's try that again. I spend 90% of my day filing compliance reports, 10% actually improving processes. How do I flip this ratio? Well, in today's day and age, I think a lot of this has to do with what format are you in? Are you in pen to paper? While the reader doesn't ask that question, I'm going to guess if they're spending that much time on it, they're having to do a lot of filling out of paperwork that comes from pen to paper, or maybe it's refiling something. And finding ways to automate that, as we talked about in previous questions about Python SQL, how automated are you in your processes of record keeping? The more automated you are, the easier that becomes. So by improving your process of taking that time to make sure that what you have for record keeping, whether it's inspections, whether it's audits, whether it's certification, for calibration, if all of that is highly automated, you will shrink the time of having to gather data that's in pen to paper that just resides in one place. But if you've got it in a convenient place, that is what saves time, and that's what allows you to then take your time and improve other processes elsewhere. Thanks for watching this episode of Q&A with My Quality Guy. Hit like and subscribe. We'd love to hear any of your feedback along the way.